I mean, I've written almost 100,000 words of this book, and it feels like nothing happens. Welcome to this episode of Writing Club, and today I'm going to be talking about my revision process. The journey for writing this book that I'm working on has been terrible. I think most people, when they write their first novel, it's pretty messy, and I've heard a lot of people say they will never write, their first novel the same way again because, it's a learning process for how you do it the first time. You never know how to do something until you try it the first time, and that's definitely been the case for how I have done this novel. So I'm ready to be done with it. I've really kind of hit that phase where I'm just really sick of it, and I'm really ready to be done, and I'm ready to be querying it, but it still needs more revision before I get to that point. Thought I would share with you all kind of my revision journey that I'm seriously actually now sitting down and doing. Day one of the revision process, kind of the way that I'm tackling this. I'm currently a full-time graduate student in an MFA program. So I am, which I can talk about more later in another video if that's something people are interested in. But I'm on, holiday break right now, winter break, between semesters. And I decided to basically take off the first week of my break as actual vacation, and to also, use that time to work on a few other different projects. And then I am dividing up the remaining kind of 3-ish weeks of the break into different parts of the revision. So today is the first day of revision, and I'm focusing this entire week on plot and structure. The structure of my book has been the thing I've struggled with the most. I think because plot is just something, some people are really good at plot. They're able to work out all the puzzle pieces really easily. It comes naturally to them. I'm not that kind of writer. I would rather just write scenes where my characters are all talking about stuff and nothing has to happen. But people don't want to actually read that. It's been through various iterations, but at this point I really need to kind of figure out the best version of what it needs to be to make it work. Then next week the goal is character revision, pacing, and motivation. Then on the third week, I'm going to work on setting, theme, and just then an overall pass. It's an aggressive calendar. We'll see if we can do it.
All I can do right now is put on a brave face.
Yeah. Hopefully so. Again, my goal is to kind of use this time to actually finish revising everything before I go back into the school semester, and then over the spring, continue to actually do more of the kind of micro editing stuff so I can start querying this spring semester. My goal for today, I have outlined this book twice already, I think at least, but there are just still some portions of it I'm struggling with. I recently, back in November, attended a workshop with Corey McCarthy, and they explained the specific beats of outlining and plot better than I had actually ever heard anybody else explain it. So I'm going to re-outline today one more time. That's my task for the day, based on Corey's lecture, and kind of take, what I already have in my story, see where it matches up on their, story chart, and see what I don't have. Because things like the hook and exciting incident, I think I sort of had mixed up in my head, and may or may not. I'm still very second guessing whether or not I have the actual best beginning to my story. And then I'm not sure that I have actual mini climaxes throughout the novel. This will be helpful to actually sit down and plot all the little beats of that. So that is my goal for today, and I'm going to get started on that, and I'll check back here in a little bit and see how it goes, give you an update. I've been working-ish for about an hour with some, distractions. I'm very good at distracting myself. So I've got the first act or so re-outlined. I'm still really struggling with what my inciting incident is. I think that's going to be a problem for me until I kind of continue to go through the rest of the outline. I mean, I've written almost 100,000 words of this book, and it feels like nothing happens. So I'm just really mentally struggling right now.
Pain. That's it.
Checking back in. I guess we're at hour 2 in my benchmark here. It's actually going better than I thought. I've pretty much finished outlining. The hard part of the outline is just kind of pretty much like the hard part of writing itself, the murky middle. That was really where I started, my confidence kind of started to shake, and I really felt like, oh, I don't have any action in my plot, so I can't actually write this. But then I started to look back at my original outline and kind of, match up the pieces of what I thought would work. And just basically go back through and fill it out. And I'm still kind of fleshing it out and thinking about which elements I might be missing from the outline. And now the task I'm working on is basically matching up which chapters are where in the outline. And I'm seeing that I have a lot of kind of chapters that aren't on the outline, which is good. That means they need to be cut, because at this point I'm probably 25,000 words over what I need to be for the book. And I know that there will be additional, rewriting I need to do. So there's a lot that needs to be cut. So this is a good way for me to identify that. Overall, this has been good progress for the day. Honestly thought this would take me a lot longer. So I may try to jump into some more actual kind of scene revisions. We'll see. We'll see kind of where I feel after this next little step. So I just finished outlining with my chapter numbers in there to see where what I have currently written falls on my new outline. And I feel pretty good about it. I could definitely see as I went through that there were some chapters that needed to be cut. I'll have to go in more closely again and kind of look, because some of my chapters, I think, have stuff where part of the chapter could be cut, but not necessarily the whole chapter, as I kind of move things around. But I also have quite a bit that with this new outline will actually need to be added in, particularly basically the last fourth of the book. I'm sort of shifting how I want that third act climax to look. So that is changing a lot of those preceding chapters. So that will be my next task, is to go through and actually chapter by chapter revise structural stuff. And I think I'm going to start that tomorrow, because I don't want to tackle it today. Even though I've only really been at work for like 2.5 hours, I think I'm going to shift to some different projects and just start fresh on stuff tomorrow. So I'll check back in on revision day 2 tomorrow with everybody. If these videos are something you enjoy, let me know. If there's different writing stuff you'd like me to cover, also let me know. I just thought this might be something interesting for those of you who are either current writers, aspiring writers, whatever. Truly do not know what I'm doing. This is, again, kind of as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, writing is very much something that even if you study it a lot as a craft, you really have to just, unfortunately, do it to learn it. So this is as much an accountability thing for me to talk about it here and process what I'm doing. Hopefully you're enjoying this, and let me know what you think.